Okay, let's take a look at equations of straight lines.
Equations of straight lines. All right. Okay, so let's recall the problem we did in the last section here. I asked you to graph. We did the example where we graphed the line. We graphed the line with slope equal to negative 3/4, if you remember, and contains the point if you remember, negative 2, 2, all right? And we did that, if you will, by what? By starting at negative 2, 2 on the rectangular coordinate system. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we start off at negative 2, 2, if you remember we did that, right? And then we said, okay, the slope is negative 3/4. So since the slope is negative 3/4, that means I'm going to go 3 down, and the run is negative 3, so go 3 down. The run is what? Positive 4, so go 4 right, 4 to the right. Okay, so I start off at my starting point, negative 2, 2 at this time, and I go 3 down, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I end up with this point here. So therefore, my sketch looks something like this. Sorry, it's hard to draw a straight line here on the sketch pad, so bear with me on that. It's this diagonal line right here, so you can picture this diagonal line here. So sorry about that. Okay, now, you might be wondering, well, can I find the equation of this line if I know the slope and the point that it's on? Well, the answer is yes. Yes, you can. All right. Let's see how we can do that here. Let's find the equation here. Right, let's find the equation. Find the equation. All right. Now, so we know the slope is negative 3/4. All right. Okay. So now, what's the equation we're trying to find? We're trying to find the y equal to mx plus b equation of this line. All right. So we know how to graph it. So we can graph it without knowing the equation. But let's say I want to find the equation. All right. So how do I do that? Well, since the slope is negative 3/4, then let me plug that in for m. All right. So y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus b. Can we see that after I plug in negative 3/4 for m here? All right. In my mx plus b equation. Okay. Then now. The key idea is after I plug in m, I need to solve for b. I need to find b, all right? But you may wonder, what about x and y? Well, we're going to use this point that we know is on the line. So we have this point here, right? Negative 2, 2. We know we're being told that the line contains this point, negative 2, 2. So we're being told that this point is on this line. That means this point will satisfy this equation. Remember earlier we mentioned that if a point makes the equation true, then therefore it's on the line. So therefore, and since we're being told it's on the line already, it therefore must make the equation true. So this point, these two numbers I can use for x and y in this equation, is what I'm trying to say. So in other words, I can plug in negative 2 for x, first number is x, and positive 2 for what? For y. All right? So let's do that. So I'm going to plug in negative 2 for x, positive 2 for y, and solve for what? Solve for b. All right? mx plus b. I know m already. I need to find b to get the equation. All right? So let's go and plug those numbers in. So y is going to be what? Y is going to be a positive 2 equal to negative 3/4 times x. X is what? Negative 2. So negative 2. All right? Plus what? Plus b. All right? Let's work it out. Negative times negative is positive. There's it crossed off those minus signs. 2 into 4 how many times? 2 times. All right? So what I have then is I have 2 equal to 3/2, right? That's a 2 right there. Okay? So 3/2 plus b. Can we see that? If I simply subtract 3/2 on both sides of the equation here, okay, takes care of that. So what's b going to be? Well, b then is going to be 2 minus 3/2. That's 1/2. Because 3/2 is 1 1/2. 2 minus 1 1/2 is what? 1/2. All right. So I know b. So therefore, my equation here will be what? Negative 3/4 x plus b, but what's b? 1/2. Can we see that? So therefore, the equation of the line that has this slope and goes through this point here is what? Negative 3/4 x plus 1/2. All right. Now look at my graph here. I'm a little off because I'm using a sketch pad, but as you can see, if I connect these 2 points, it is going to go through positive 1/2 here as the y-intercept, because that's our y-intercept right here, 0, 1/2, right? Okay, so this equation does make sense. Again, how do I get this equation? I start off with the mx plus b equation here, all right? Then what? Then I plug in my m. My m was given as negative 3/4 for the slope. M is the slope, right? Plug it in. I get this equation here, all right? Then I'm going to plug in for x and y. And what numbers do I plug in for x and y? Well, I plug in the given point, because the given point has the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate on this line. That means this point makes this equation true, so I can plug it in. So x is what? Negative 2. Y is positive 2 here, all right? So then I plugged in x and y, and I solve for b, right? Again, after I plug in x and y, which is the given point, I solve for b. So negative 3/4 times negative 2, 2 into 4 twice. Negatives can go away. Negative times negative is positive. So I have 2 equal to 3/2 plus b. Subtracting 3/2 on both sides to solve for b, I get b is equal to 1/2. So therefore, my equation in mx plus b form is y equal to negative 3/4 x plus b, which is 1/2. All right, so let's practice this technique a little bit. All right, let's try this problem. All right, let's find the. So suppose I give you the slope of this line. Let's say the slope of this line is let's make it 3/2, and it contains this point here, 4, negative 2. All right, let's find the equation. Okay, so again, in other words, find the equation of the line that has slope 3/2 and contains this point. That means it passes through this point on the rectangular coordinate system, 4, negative 2. Okay, so again, we start off with the y equal to mx plus b equation, all right? And our m is what? 3/2. So let's plug that in. So we get y equal to what? 3/2 x plus b, all right? Now I'm going to plug in for x and y using this point here. Okay, so 4 for x, negative 2 for what? Y, all right? Let's plug it in and solve for b. So we're always solving for b in this type of problem here, all right? So y is going to be negative 2 equal to 3/2 times what? 4 for x, right? And then plus b. So we plug in and we solve for what? We solve for b here, okay? So make sure we see that here. Okay, so we get plus b right here. All right? All right, so let's go and finish solving for b. So 2 into 4, 2 times, all right? Cross cancel there. So negative 2 is equal to 3 times 2 is going to be 6 plus b. Subtract 6 on both sides of the equation, all right? So b is equal to what? Negative 8. Okay? Again, that's not the final answer, right? The final answer has to be the mx plus b equation. So therefore, the final answer here will be what? Well, 3mx plus b. So 3/2 x plus negative 8, right, plus b, right? b is negative 8, but let's write that as y equal to 3/2 x minus 8. Okay, so we get y equal to 3/2 x minus 8 as our solution here. All right, let's try another one. All right, suppose the slope given in the problem this time is 2/5. All right, and the point that we're given here, the point that's on this line is going to be 5, 5, 4. Okay, let's go ahead and use the same technique. So y equal to mx plus b. So always write this equation out first. Slope-intercept equation, correct? And we know what m is 2/5. Once again, we're given m is 2/5. So let's go ahead and plug it in. So y is equal to 2/5 x plus b. All right. Again, you're always solving for b at the end. All right. So again, how do I do that? Well, again, I plug in for x and y. I plug 5 in for x, 4 in for y. Okay, so y is what? Y is 4, so 4 equal to 2/5 times what? 5 for x plus b. All right, 5's drop off, cross canceling here on the fraction multiplication. So 4 is equal to what? 2 plus b. Subtracting 2 on each side of the equation, I get my result as b equal to 2. So again, therefore, my final answer is y equal to what? mx plus b, so 2/5 x plus 2. Okay, so again, not too bad at all using this technique of mx plus b. There's another technique we can use to solve these types of problems. Let me clear this out and give you that equation. There's another equation that we can use. It's called the point slope equation of a line. All right, what is that? Well, here's what the point slope equation of a line is. It's y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. All right. Now, what are the what are those numbers here again? Well, we know m is the slope once again. All right, and the point that's given to us is not xy in this case. It's x1 y1. So slightly different, but really the same idea. All right. So it's not too bad. Okay, let's rework the previous problem I cleared out. All right. So previous problem we said what the slope was what 2/5, right? And the point that was given was 5/4, right? Remember that? So replay that part of the video here if you need to see the problem again. But that was what's given, and we're asked to find the equation. Let's find the equation. All right. So this time I'll use the point slope formula, the point slope equation of a line. All right. So this will be x1, this will be y1 in this case, and there's my m. All right. So let's plug it all in. So y minus y1 is what? 4. So y minus 4 equal to m. What's m? Well, that's the slope, 2/5. That's given to us. 2/5 times x minus x1. So x minus, what's x1? Well, that's 5. Okay, so in this case, we keep the x and the y as variables, right, for the point slope equation. All right. So again, y minus y1, which is 4, equal to m 2/5 times what? X minus x1, which is 5. All right. So let's now this is the point slope equation of this line here. But again, your final answer has to be what? Mx plus b form. Always get your final answer in y equal to mx plus b form. So solve for y in this equation. So let's go and distribute the 2/5. Simplify the right-hand side first. So do some algebra. All right. So y minus 4, all right, is equal to equal to 2/5 times x, 2/5 x, 2/5 times negative 5. The 5's cancel out. So that's going to be what? Minus 2 here, if you will. Make sure we see that. Okay, so again, 2/5 times 5. The 5's drop off. 2 times 1, so 2. All right? So therefore, let me recopy that to the top here. So y minus 4 equal to 2/5. This is a 5 here. Sorry about that. Okay? 2/5 x minus 2. Let me finish solving for y. Well, that's just adding 4 to both sides. No big deal here. Okay? So 4's drop off. So y is going to be 2/5 x plus 2. This is the exact answer we got in the previous example using the mx plus b equation. This time I didn't use the mx plus b equation. I used the what? Point slope equation. Okay? So let's go ahead and try another one here. Let me clear out the screen here. Just use so I want you to practice both techniques. So on the exam you can use either one, but for the homework purposes, practice both. Practice the mx plus b equation of finding the equation of the line, and practice the point slope equation in terms of finding the equation of the line. All right? I like this a little better in the sense that all you do is just plug it in. Once you plug it in, of course, the only about this is you have to do some algebra to get y by itself, get it in mx plus b form. So there is some work here, but the concept is not that hard at all, as you can see. All right, let's try another problem. All right, let's look at, suppose the slope of the line is given as negative 3/4, and the and the point we're passing through is negative 2, 2. Right? We did a problem like that earlier, right? So let's use point slope this time. So again, find the equation. Okay, find the equation in mx plus b form. Okay, so let's use point slope. Okay, write the formula down. Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Write that point slope formula down. Okay, this is x1, this is y1. All right, so let's go and plug it all in. And this is m right here. Right? So y minus y1, 2 equal to m negative 3/4 times x minus x1. x1 is negative 2, so be careful. Use parentheses to plug that in. All right? So again, y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. All right? Make sure we see that. All right? So that's going to be y minus 2 equal to negative 3/4 times x, what? Plus 2, essentially. Okay, so I'm just doing some algebra to simplify. All right? Let's get an mx plus b form. Solve for y in other words. All right? So y minus 2 is equal to, let me distribute the negative 3/4. Negative 3/4 times x, negative 3/4 x, negative 3/4 times 2. Again, be careful here. You might want to use your calculator, but 2 into 4, what? 2 times, right? So this will be what? Negative 3 over 2, as you can see. 2 cancel with the 4 here, right? So minus 3 over 2. All right, are you with me on that? You can punch in the calculator if need be. All right, let's go and add 2 to both sides here to finish solving for y. Okay, so y is going to be what? Negative 3/4 x. And what is negative 3/2 plus 2? Well, that's positive 1/2, which is precisely the answer we got last time here. All right, 1/2 right down here. Sorry about that. Okay, again, if you're still hung up with negative 3/4 times 2, let me do the work for you here. Negative 3/4 times 2. 2 and the 4 2 times, you get negative 3/2. Okay, so again, that's how we got this minus 3/2. Okay, so make sure we see that. Again, the final answer here is negative 3, y equal to negative 3/4 x plus 1/2. Okay, so again, practice both techniques, the point slope formula, the point slope equation, and also the mx plus b equation of the line. Okay, let me give you some prompts to try and post onto Blackboard. Okay, so let's go and post the following solutions here. Right, let me clear out the screen. So post the solution to this problem in the discussion area in Blackboard. Okay, so suppose the slope is equal to, let's say equal to negative 2/3, and the point that we want to pass through is negative 6, negative 1. Okay, let's find the equation here. You could use either technique. All right. Second problem, let's say the slope of the line is 8, and let's say the point we're going through is 0, negative 7. All right. So see if you can find the equation again. You can use either technique, but I really want you to practice with both. So for example, you might want to do this with the mx plus b. You might want to do this with the point slope. It's entirely up to you, but just post the solutions to these questions in the discussion area in Blackboard. All right, so fairly short section here, not too bad. All right, until next time. Bye-bye.